My hair is not good. Just get it out of your system now. My hair is not good today. There you go.
Like shit. All right, whatever.
Having a few days to practice. I know practice isn't always something yay to get excited about, but having a few days to practice, what can it mean for this team?
It's all about daily items of improving, working on small stuff, and then just being able to just get in the gym. You know, I look at it as an opportunity to always get better.
It's so cliche to say that there's a switch to flip, before from regular season to playoffs. You guys played in a lot of games that mattered down the stretch, trying to get out of the play-in, trying to get whatever the best seed you could. Do you feel like that switch has already kind of been flipped, or can you not replicate it until you really get into the playoffs?
No, it's already been flipped, because if it wasn't flipped, it would definitely be in play-in or out of the playoffs, because it was a point in time where we were almost the worst team in the East. So it's definitely a switch.
Do you remember those days? Like, seriously, do you think back at where this team was a few months ago with all the craziness?
Yeah, it was growing pains, everybody was looking at me like I was crazy when I was like, yo, it's it get better as you go. And everybody was saying like we're not going to the playoffs, this, that, and the third. But I feel like my team and the staff did a great job blocking out the outside noise and just really putting our heads down and honing in on trying to just stack wins.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we go to Malika Andrews.
Hey, Bam, I'm wondering what you learned last year in your run in the bubble. I know that's unlike any other sort of playoff experience, but what you took from that, what you took from what you saw from Jimmy there, we've talked about playoff Jimmy today, to learn and to apply to your approach of how you want to approach things this season in this playoff series.
It was definitely different in the bubble, but for the most part, it still was the playoffs. So what I took from it was every possession really matters. Like, really thinking about it, one thing in the first quarter, something go sideways, it could cost you the game. And you're not even thinking about it until like, dang, that was like the switch point, or that was the deciding factor, or I could have dove on the floor for that loose ball and we would have got that possession. So that's the thing that I learned about the playoffs. Every possession really matters.
So this time you're going to be on the floor.
I mean, I was on the floor last year anyway, but it was just you can tell the difference between the regular season and the playoffs, because a lot of dudes that are older, that are vets in the regular season might not dive. In the playoffs, you see everybody diving, bodies flying around, because we know how much it matters to our team. And at the end of the day, everybody in the playoffs wants to raise that trophy at the end of the year.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Ira Winterman.
Hey, Bam. Going back to Tim's question, from those darkest days to when you guys finally finished the season best 8 games over 500, what were the biggest changes? Was it something mechanical? Was it something basketball related? Was it emotional? What sort of that 15-game swing? What was the biggest change from 7 under to 8 over?
We got healthy. that was the biggest thing. We had a healthy team, and we were able to be in the games together and figure out the chemistry. So I feel like that was the reason.
And then I know there were subtle moves at the trade deadline. There was a hope for a bigger move with Vic. Unfortunately, he was injured. But even just Trevor and Dwayne and what they added, did that sort of feel tangible of lifting this team perhaps to another level?
Yeah, 100%. Every time Dead Man steps on the court, he brings that energy, he brings that edge about himself. And that's what you need. Like, you need a guy with edge. You need a guy that's a little bit like you did. So, but you need guys like that. TA is silent to y'all, but on the court, when something ain't right or it's like back and forth going, him and somebody in TA, like different person. total different person. Like y'all get to chill TA. But you need guys like that. You need guys that, carry themselves with a swagger and have that will to win and will do anything to win. And that's a lot of us.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Brendan Tobin.
Hey, man. A lot of the best, most intense playoff rivalries come from rematches, and there's been some good ones over in Heat history. How much you revel in the fact that you're going into kind of like the next era of one of you versus Bucks round 2? Bucks round 2.
It's gonna be a battle. That's pretty much how I see it. They're definitely thinking about last year, and they want their get back. Like it's not a surprise. Like it's not like a secret. Like so, best thing for us is to bring our intensity and show up.
Next, we go to Anthony Chang.
Hey, Bam. Obviously, we don't know how the Bucks will defend you once the series starts. But in last week's match with Milwaukee, they really dropped off of you, which is not something you've seen much of this season because you've been able to hit the mid range, consistently. I guess how does your approach change when you see that type of defensive coverage when a guy's playing that far off of you, and why do you feel like you're better suited against that coverage maybe than you were a year ago?
Just watch film. I'm starting to become a film junkie. I'm starting to really get into film, and it's starting to become like a real skill. Just being able to watch, certain coverages, certain strategies, and figure it out like that when you see it on the court. So just watching film, and usually when I get covered a different way, I usually go back to a couple of days after, watch film, and then so we got a couple of days right now just to watch film, lock in, and really learn how to beat the coverage.
Thanks, man.
Next, we go to Will Mansell.
Hey, Bam, you referenced a kind of a classic SPO term earlier, the noise and blocking all that out, but you hear some of it. Preseason noise was you guys couldn't make this kind of run again. Here you are, ready for a run, and the noise is kind of stuck the same, that this team, there's no way you're going to beat the Bucks, the Nets, and the teams ahead of you. How much is that a chip on your shoulder, even through everything you guys have been through?
I don't listen to it. I didn't hear that until you just said it. So block out the noise, man. At the end of the day, we're here to play basketball. We're here to do our job. So got to block out the noise and do our job.
Next, we go to Cooper Moorhead.
Hey, Bam, Milwaukee, they tried to stick to their base scheme last year, and then they tried switching, and it didn't go all that well for them. And now they're trying to switch even more, and they've added PJ, who kind of unlocks a few different lineups for them. But with them trying to switch more, how does that change your approach to attacking them? And could that benefit you personally because you can attack smaller guys on a switch?
Man, at the end of the day, we're going to figure it out. So, with the switching, I mean, we built so many habits off of, being guarded different ways that, we see a certain coverage and we can adjust. So it'll be beneficial for me because of that switching, the pocket pass, and then I get to make plays.
Thanks for that.
And then just quickly on Giannis, it's well known how you guys are going to defend him, or at least try to defend him and keep him out of the paint. How has he improved from last year, from the 3 games that you've played against him this year? How is he a little bit more different to defend now?
I feel like he's more under control than he has been. So that's the one thing that I've noticed.
Next, we go to Mike DePasquale.
Hey, Bam, good to see you. Thank you. You mentioned just a little bit ago about the bubble. Not playing in a bubble this season, being able to watch film, practice. Is there a comfort level going into these playoffs as you normally would in a season compared to last season?
I mean, last year was different. Like we can't even put last year in like a regular conversation. Like that was just being in the bubble was different. But you know, it feels like it's getting back to normal. So you know, it's gonna feel different. Like we made the playoffs my rookie year, and yeah, my rookie year when it was normal, and that's the playoff atmosphere that everybody wants to be in. So it's gonna be exciting to get back in that playoff atmosphere.
Next, we go to Joe with Heat.com.
Hey, Bam, I have an off-court question for you. With Africa Day coming up on May 25th, I wanted to ask you about your heritage. I read how you didn't really know much about your Nigerian roots until the age of 16. So how fulfilling was it to learn more about it, and what was that whole process like?
It was something that I was nervous about because you know my father wasn't in my life, so I didn't really have like a easy outlet to just figuring out my heritage. So it was difficult. So I went through just reading, like reading where my name come from, like getting the basics down, like really learning like the heritage and where I'm from and what tribe.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, Bam, that's it. Thank you.
Black Lives Matter, people.